that he's talked to you in the past about the starters not playing as many minutes to give the bench guys some opportunities. And I was wondering what your thoughts were.
Well, we never had a conversation about it.
Tibbs quick to deny a conversation between he and Bridges yesterday on the show. Stephen A. let his concerns be known. S.A.?
When have we ever heard Mikal Bridges complain about anything, let alone minutes? That's not the same page. That's not a good look for the New York Knicks. And if you got to choose between a player and the coach, under these circumstances, when you're looking at players being worn out, Mikal Bridges ain't say that for himself, y'all. He's speaking for the team. And Tom Thibodeau says it didn't happen? That's a bad sign.
All right, Peter Rosenberg, if anyone knows New York, it is you, sir. Do you agree with Stephen A.?
Not at all. I mean,
really?
No, listen, do I agree that Tibbs denying the conversation is weird? Yeah, I thought it was a weird look. Like, what's the point of even saying that?
Yeah.
I would, in fact, cover up for the player potentially. Yeah. But the part that Stephen A. really lost me on was Tibbs is in trouble. This team, if they beat Golden State on Saturday on ESPN ABC, 20 games over 500. Tibbs is not in trouble. If this conversation had been had on the Roommates podcast by Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart, then we are having a conversation about trouble. Stephen, I love you. You were talking about Mikal Bridges like he has the credibility of Steph Curry. The guy, he shouldn't be worried about being up 3 minutes a game this year. He should be worried about being down in every statistical category from where he was in Brooklyn. We don't believe you. You need more people. Literally, Mikal Bridges, to me, is not the player that can cause a real fracture on this Knicks team.
Stephen A.?
Well, first of all, let's understand something, America. We understand that Peter is prone to disagree with me from time to time, and he's also prone to be corrected. So let's start right there.
Why are you bringing up old stuff,
a guy? We're talking about a guy in Mikal Bridges, Molly.
Yeah.
In his, what is it now, 7, 8 years in this league, he's played all 82 games 4 times. Normally, he's playing, what is it? Last year, he played 82 games, okay? He got hurt one year and didn't play that much, right? We got that part, right? The man doesn't miss games. He doesn't miss games. Now let's go to Thibodeau, because this is the part that you were missing. I'm not trying to say that Mikal Bridges could get Thibodeau fired. I'm saying Thibodeau can get himself fired. Why do I bring that up? Peter, do you know how highly respected Tom Thibodeau is? He is considered a genius on the defensive side of the ball. He's a damn good coach. He's won 58% of his games in his 13 years as a head coach. He's only been to the conference finals once, but he's been a damn good coach, 58% of his wins. The lone complaint about him is that he will run you into the ground. The lone complaint. Nothing else. Nothing else. When he was in Chicago with Derrick Rose, when he was in Minnesota with Butler and Cat and those boys, okay? The problem is that and only that. Nobody questions his basketball acumen. Nobody questions his commitment to excellence, how hard he works, how hard he gets his players to play. But the point is, being a players' league, when a player who never says anything comes to you and says, yo, the starters need a break, and the bench need to play more, that's a problem. Hold on, because I got numbers here for you, Peter.
Okay.
When he was with the Bulls, last 3 years in Chicago, 3rd in the league in terms of starter minutes. First 2 years in Minnesota, number 1 in the league in starter minutes. Last 2 years before this season, Knicks were number 2 in minutes. And this year, they're number 1 starters, 36.2 minutes, almost 2 more minutes per starter. I am telling you, if you look at the Knicks and they end up looking fatigued and run down and stuff like that, it's the only complaint anybody has ever said about Tom Thibodeau. He himself. We got footage, Molly, of him being on First Take.
I want to let Peter respond, and I understand you're upset about the messenger, and I just wanted to piggyback that point, and I said this stat to you yesterday. 3 of the 6 top players in minutes per game in the entire league right now.
Absolutely. No, listen, Stephen A. just said a lot of facts. We know the biggest issue with Tibbs, and certainly in terms of criticism around the league, and specifically in New York, is about the way he uses starters. He's not wrong about any of that. My problem is, it's the messenger. If this had come from someone else, I would say this is a huge issue. So we already knew this about Tom Thibodeau. What changed because Mikal Bridges said it? I mean, let's be real. Before Mikal Bridges traveled 15 feet and knocked down that game winner the other night, the conversation about Mikal Bridges has been what a disappointment he's been on this team. We were adding a fourth member of the Villanova squad. This was supposed to be the missing ingredient that took them to another level. He has not been that guy. Now, listen, did he point out the same thing that a lot of people outside the garden saying bing bong are pointing out? He did, but I don't think that changes anything for Tibbs within this organization.
But do you think it hurts them?
But here's the-
Stephen A. Yeah, go. You're okay, Stephen A. You can talk.
Here's the part that you're missing, Peter. You're talking about the greatness of a Steph Curry jeopardizing somebody. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying to you, you have a guy that is considered an Iron Man when it comes to availability. That is Mikal Bridges. He doesn't miss games. He doesn't get shabby minutes. He never says anything. So when he speaks about minutes played on behalf of himself and his starters, when you traded 5 picks to get him because he's best friends with your superstar, who, by the way, got his own podcast with Josh Hart. It's not an accident that when you got 3 of the top 6 minutes per games being played by New York Knicks starters, and one of them speaks out, yo, we need some rest.
Stephen A., we have to hit the top
It's
of
an
the hour.
indictment.
So here's what I need to know from you. So what's your issue? You want them playing less minutes? Like, how do we rectify this?
I'm saying if you're Tom Thibodeau, at some point you got to trust somebody other than
I agree
your
with
core
that.
seven.
Okay,
I agree
so you
with
have
that
to
part.
change your
Especially when you got
stripes
starters
and let
complete.
guys rest. That's what you
He
said.
has to.
Okay.
If he doesn't do it, Molly, they're going to get another coach in a couple of years. I'm telling you.
Okay.
They're going to get somebody else.
All right, fair enough. Let me hit the top of the hour here. Coming up on
Thoughts on current LeBron. This is my favorite version of LeBron because it looks like he's at peace. He's just going out there hooping like it's nothing left for him to prove. 40 years old, still putting up big time numbers. What's your thoughts on current LeBron?
I love it because he's doing something he loves to do. He's still very able to compete at a high level. I like this year better than the couple years in the past because he's actually the team is in the mix. They can legitimately come out the West and be in the finals again. He could be playing for another ring. If he comes back healthy with the addition of Luka, I like them just as I like any other team in the West. So that's what's great. I think when we watch guys play at this level, especially at the age of 40, when they're playing in meaningful games, it makes it more special. I think we've seen guys have long careers and obviously not be in this situation. They're just playing because they love the game. To be able to play the game and love the game and to be able to be in the thick of things and compete for an NBA championship makes it even special. So that's what I like to do. I like watching this now because he's playing in meaningful games. The last couple of years, getting those 8th, 9th seeds, playing situations, that's not fun to watch LeBron. They're going to possibly be a 4, 5 seed in the playoffs. It's going to be fun to watch.
That was gonna be my next question. What did you make of the Luka trade? And the Mavs said that they traded him away. He was enjoying life a little too much off the court, and they didn't see it as him being the guy for the future. But what do you make of the trade for Luka and for the Lakers?
I think it's a great trade for the Lakers to be able to transition from a LeBron James to Luka